morning and welcome to the trade setup right here on BloombergQuint Live. I'm Niraj Shah, and it suggests the day which is full of news, but the start may be muted to flattish. And I'll get to that in a bit. First, the big news: the Fed held rates near zero. Actually, the commentary or the comment from the Fed about saying that the virus poses considerable risks and they might likely hold the rates near zero until the entire 2022 period was the big development that happened overnight. And as a result of that, and the US markets had a few gyrations. The dot plot has now just changed and looks completely different. Now, what is the dot plot, by the way? The dot plot is a chart that records each Fed official's forecast for the central bank's key short-term interest rate. Look at the chart on your screen, and that will show you a near flat line for almost the entire part of FY22 or 2022, essentially. And that shows the change in the forecast. It just keeps on coming and going. But yeah, that's the chart that I'm talking about. And the new dot plot suggests a flat line till 2022. And that's pretty interesting, really. One, it just suggests the kind of policy that the Fed intends to have in the current situation. But the other interesting bit was how the Fed expects the rates to move up post 2022. Again, it's just too far out. I don't think we should try and dwell too much on it. But what this did and what the comment did was bring about some upticks in the markets before they cooled off again. So the US markets, again, mixed day, but 2 days of losses for the Dow and the S&P, even though the Nasdaq was in the green, and the US futures indicate a start which is 100 points lower. So it's not been. It's probably a bit of consolidation in the US markets with the downward bias. A lot of people are crying for the markets to come off now. Let's wait and watch if that happens. For now, the Qs are the most positive, even if they're not terribly negative. Asia mixed bag, SGX Nifty mixed bag too. You would probably see a start which is flat to marginally lower. So first the Asian screen will come up on your screen and the 2-3 markets. I was looking at peripheral markets too, the ones which were the early risers, the likes of Australia, etc. Very flattish. Even the ones that we keep pointing out right now, Hong Kong index or otherwise, it's flat to marginally lower, if you will. So that's the nature of how we'll start off. The SGX Nifty, as I said, indicates a start which is about flat to marginally in the red. So the start isn't going to be the most gung-ho. Now, the key is what happens to the trade in the session, therefore, today. And viewers, I would suggest, just get the SGX Nifty as well. But viewers, here's my suggestion. I just think it's becoming a bit difficult. This is the SGX Nifty, of course, and as the Q suggests, marginally lower. But the point that I'm trying to make is that it's become very difficult to call out the market does on a day-to-day basis. Anyways, as I've always said, it's a bit of a mug's game, really. I don't know, a bit of a coin toss. But frankly, yesterday's late up move that we saw yesterday made everybody, until then, everybody believed, the markets are indeed headed lower. But we had a gush of an up move in late trade, and therefore the advanced decline as well as the markets really did well. So Tuesday wasn't the best of days. Yesterday it recovered some of the gains as some of the losses as well, and therefore very, very difficult to call out. It just seems that a larger call seems to be buying on declines is a safer bet. So please keep that at the back of your mind. Mid-cap pharma, mid-cap financials, all of them saw significant delivery-based buying. And frankly, if you just consider the AGR verdict today, if there is an AGR verdict today, by the way, on the tariffs that they're supposed to pay out, because the verdict today could well be on a contempt petition and not really on the AGR dues. But if indeed there is an AGR verdict, that could bring about an action in both telecom as well as mid-cap financials too. So you have to keep that at the back of your mind. Just look at the delivery stats. If we can point them out, I was talking about mid-cap pharma, mid-cap financials. But mid-cap pharma, look at this. Unichem Labs, the volumes were 8 times the 30-day average yesterday, and about 51% delivered quantity. That's pretty high when the volume number is that high for stock. Pharma Biotech, another one, which had news to itself, but volume 7 times the 10-day average, 38% delivery volumes. Mid-cap pharma has had a very interesting day yesterday, but there could be problems today, which I'll get to in just a moment from now. Just that the trade setup suggests that there is activity in mid-cap pharma and mid-cap financials. Flows won the best. FIs yesterday sold about 900 crores. DIs bought in about 500 crores. Again, it's very choppy what the FIs do on any single given day. There's no trend, essentially, that I'm trying to say that we're getting. And therefore, focus on stocks. I think that's what we should do. So first, the stock that you should focus on today, Bharti Infratel. The final announcement of the Infratel Indus merger is likely today, in all probability today. Now, the key is look at the trade that has happened in Infratel. The open interest has increased by nearly 33% in the last 2 days with a higher cost of carry, which suggests that there are some bull calls that are being made. Even on the options front, the data suggests that. So, could it be that people are preempting a judgment which could be positive for Infratel and allied players, and therefore we should be mindful of that when it comes to Infratel? Now, this announcement will become even more important if the AGR verdict doesn't come about. But if the AGR verdict comes about, then that will hold center stage for all telcos. So Vodafone Idea, Bharti, and Reliance, all three will be in focus today because of this. The Economic Times is reporting that TPG is exploring a stake in Reliance, so that's separate altogether. But watch out for Vodafone Idea in particular. This one has the big development. This could be make or break for Vodafone Idea. If it, the AGR verdict goes against Vodafone Idea, then you could see a big crack there in Vodafone Idea in particular. Bharti and Reliance would actually do well in such a scenario because people will believe consumers will migrate, customers will migrate from Vodafone into Bharti and Reliance. But if the verdict is positive, then it's positive for Bharti. The other thing is what it does for some of the financiers. So for IndusInd Bank, nearly 2% of the loan book is exposed to Vodafone Idea. IDFC First Bank, nearly 3% of the loan book is exposed to Vodafone Idea. And if indeed the verdict is positive, then you could actually have a decent outing out there. To IndusInd Bank was up about 10% yesterday. I'm not suggesting because of this, by the way. I don't know who can predict what the court will say. But yeah, do watch out for IndusInd Bank and IDFC First Bank. They could be interesting movers in the session today. One that could react is Shriram Transport Finance. Has had a good run in the last few days. The numbers left a bit to be desired, really. Net interest income and 1933 crores. The estimates were 2019 crores. But the profit number, a big disappointment, 223 crores versus expectations of 712 crores. And the companies come out and stated that disbursements were badly affected due to lockdown. This is the company statement. So a stock having run up, poor results, not the best commentary, maybe reacts negatively. As I said, while mid-cap pharma is in focus, I would watch out for pharma stocks at large because a coalition of 51 attorney generals in the US have filed an antitrust complaint in the federal court alleging key individual executives and manufacturers of several pharma companies have conspired to artificially inflate and manipulate prices. So Taro, Mylan, Teva, Glenmark, all of these in focus. I dare say watch out for Nifty Pharma. Today could be a bad day, specifically for companies like Oro, Sun, Glenmark, etc. So do watch out for all of these names. Pharma has had a really good rally. Maybe it could be a day of a cooling off. Just be mindful if you're trading. But that's it on the trade setup, an extended one today, but just so many stocks that you have to monitor all of those. Thanks so much for tuning in today.